Andre is a part of the social work movements here in the GTA, the city, is that correct? Also works with Damien. Thank you so much. Give it up for Andre, please, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. We have a special guest all the way from Jamaica. Ladies, take off your thing, no, man. We'll see the people and see your name, no, man. I want to say you're general, you know. Yes, such a swagger. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up if you know the real, authentic, I would say twins of twins. I would talk about demo after demo and all these things, and you don't know Uncle Sacks and you understand paintings. Real educated, very intelligent, and love to take the conversation and his reasoning to another level. All the way from Jamaica. Ladies, give it up for Mr. CurlyLoxx. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. Yes, thank you so much, my brother, for being here. All right, last but not least, he's an icon, he's a legend, I can't, you know what I mean? He's a producer, he's a writer, he's an actor, he's a father, he's an uncle, but most importantly, he represents Jamaica wherever he goes right across the world. I need each and every one to stand up and give me a big round of applause for Mr. Oliver Samuels. Come on, real. And him let me know so we can wear earmuffs come and parry. All right, that's the panel so far we have for the night. Thank you guys so much for being here. The first question, we're going to start off the discussion tonight with this question. What does violence mean to you? Is retribution or vengeance violent?
What violence means to me is somebody, group of people, an individual who has ill intentions with nothing good for the end result.
Violence, it have its use, it have its purpose, like everything else, I believe, it have its use. Some people might hear it and say, wait, how violence we have used? But in our world, in this demonic material world, it have to take war to maintain peace. You come over my yard and say you're going to rape my wife in front of me and cut off my victim head. You shall not do it, me a murder you. You shall not do that, not tonight, not this day, or me a go dead trying. Because you come in on my space, my place, and decide say you're going to do violence to me, then violence will be the thing that gets you out of this world. That's it. But when violence is used in a manner where it is used to provoke or try to, you know, bring trouble to people, then it becomes a bad thing. You understand? It's a violent world. But it don't take war to maintain peace. Me over here say, me I deal with God. And the devil come over here and say, send out the little daughter, we're just 13, already fair enough. Boy, daughter, I just saw them thing I go. You think that's something I'm going to do it? You think I'm going to send her? That messenger didn't live to go back in place. So it's balance. That's it. It have it used. We just not use it right, most of the time. And we just give the one meaning, but none of us. We live in a world of people kill people. And if them try to kill, they have to kill him for live.
Mr. Samuels, you wanted to expound on what violence means to you?
Well, there is no more expounding, as more than what CurlyLoxx said. I totally agree with him, but on another level, violence is the negative disruption of a society, of a home, of a community, with all that he has said.
Beg him for sweet, no? If it's terrible. Do it, no, man? I want to see how that work out for we.
Right. Andre, you wanted to add to your definition of violence?
When I gave my definition, you responded to me and said, that's it, kind of very simple. And I said, yes, it was, because for me, that's what it is. When we talk about violence, something bad happening to a family member or whatever, and we respond or we react, I don't call that violence. When we do certain actions, I think sometimes we use the word violence and we just label it for everything.
Good.
And when it's not for everything, if somebody's defending their family and they're doing something, I personally wouldn't call it violence. But society will call it violence because of our culture, because of our skin color, whatever. They were violent. Well, no, in your opinion they were, but he was defending his wife or his child who got molested, whatever. I don't say that's violence. And that's why I gave my answer the way I gave it. It's a negative action with a negative result. But if I'm defending my family, if I'm going to war because there's a country that's been invaded by an oppressor, for example, Russia, Ukraine, I wouldn't call that violence. What I would really caution us, you guys, myself, individual, is when the question was, what is violence? And if we took a survey here, and we asked people, what is violence? I guarantee you out of the 100 people here, we'd have 150 different answers. And then from there, we would go out and either support each other or fight each other because of how we view violence. And I really caution the group, us as individuals, not only for this moment, but moments moving forward, when we are confronted with violence, whatever your definition is, that it's not just about you, and that there's other factors involved that you need to consider before you put out your personal view, because your personal views can in fact influence other people. And it can be cancerous, or it can be healing. But I strongly put that challenge out to everybody here. Not one person in this room had the same answer for violence. Not one.
Mr. Samuels to take the lead on this one, okay? Is that okay with you, sir? All right. Fling it, all right. Do you think there is a problem of violence in the Jamaica communities and abroad? And if you do, I want to know why or what it is.
If I think there is a
problem of violence in the Jamaican communities or abroad, and if you do, I want to know what it is and why. We're going to get deep in it.
There's obviously a problem with violence in Jamaica. And this violence in Jamaica has permeated, I suppose, the entire diaspora. Because before I started coming to Canada, I heard about the wonderful, wonderful Canada. And then when I did not, you're not hardly hear about domestic violence, you hardly hear about homicides and all that sort of stuff. When I start coming to Jamaica, the next thing I hear, when I start coming to Canada, the next thing I hear is that Jamaicans have come into Canada and have polluted and disrupt the quietude of this wonderful society. And everything you hear about Jamaicans in Canada, you hear of the negativity of us infiltrating this society that was so clean and nasty top. The graffiti on wall, where killing people and all that kind of stuff. So obviously there is the psychological thing of why it is so and all of that. We can't go into tonight, but my answer is yes, we have a problem in Jamaica in regards to violence. We can attribute it to a whole heap of things. Like everybody using the word violence, talk about the various reasons why it is violent. Why have we become so violent as a people? When we born, you hardly hear about killing. You know about rocks to and a hat and a lick down people in a politics and all them sort of something there. And man a fight and all them kind of things. You hardly ever hear about a killing. So it's, your question is one that is very, very hard for me to pinpoint and to answer directly. But all I can say is that we do in Jamaica have a serious problem. And if we take out the word violence and just say we have a serious problem with murders of all kinds and the whole thing of theft and all them kind of something there, we really are in a bad way down there. And it is filtering into the diaspora via messengers of all these negativities.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Samuels. So, I know when you heard the question, you're thinking, oh, it's an obvious question. Obviously, there's a problem with violence in Jamaica. The reason why I asked that question is because this is what's obvious. There is violence in Jamaica. It's not very obvious that we're having a problem with it. We have to think about that. Because why is it permeating the society so much if we have a problem with it? For example, our government here in Canada issued, I think, about 3 warnings, travel warnings to Jamaica this winter time. And I think at one point, they issued the warning today, and tomorrow he's in Jamaica vacationing with his family. Do we have a problem? That's the question. Is there a problem with the violence? We know it's there. He knows it's there. He just issued the warning, but he's in Jamaica vacationing. Is there a problem? And that's why I asked the question. So if we think deeper about the question, we know, really think about what I'm asking you, because it's not just if there's violence, because obviously there is. People are killed. Jamaica's ranked 2nd in the world murders per capita. The only country that's outdoing us is Honduras. Jamaica they do it 100,000 people per 100,000 people. Jamaica is 48 per 100,000 people, right? Honduras is 48.3, so we're not second by much. And we have 2.8 million people. That's terrible, terrible. So when you think about it, why is this happening? And why are we so comfortable? I was in Jamaica last week, and everybody's comfortable. I can't tell this is a country that has the violence. I can't tell it. I can't tell it. Why? Why is this happening? And this is a question I'm asking. Do we think there's a problem with this violence? We know it is, but do we think there's a problem? Andre, did you want to take a stab at that? I know you live here, but take a stab. Tell me what you think.
Stab?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pun intended.
No violence. Violence. Get away.
Is there a problem in Jamaica? I think it all depends on who you ask. I think that's what it is. Being on the outside, yeah, it's a problem. But if you're on the inside and you feel there's justification or there's a need for it, it's not a problem for you. My problem with, quote, the problem of violence in Jamaica is that do Jamaicans want it to stop? And I don't know if Jamaica wants it to stop. I don't know if Jamaica wants to change. Because it's a mentality that wherever Jamaicans go, the US, the UK, China, Taiwan, wherever, there's violence. Or some type of violence associated to our people. So I'm really not sure what the problem is, and I'm really not sure if the problem is to be solved. So did I answer the question? No, I didn't answer the question because I don't think that's a question to be asked or to be answered, to be honest with you.
Do you want to say something else now?
Yeah, I believe that. Of course there is a problem in Jamaica. Do we want it to stop? I am not so sure. No. Because governments are aware of these problems, and there are instances where it is felt in certain quarters that governments, oh no, did you say governments? Quite so. I mean, I want to know what combination of green and orange. Governments, it is believed. Take off that green for me. No, but governments, it is believed in some quarters, encourage this kind of thing. And there are sectors within the society that it is believed that encourage it because they earn from these violent activities. You can't tell me, say, me I run a country, and because I want to get into power or get back into the house, me can't establish laws that can say, if you lick me and me squeal, me a cut off a finger. Or you go for 10 years. And if you ball out too loud of 15 years, we can establish laws that when man hear about that, then change their mind. No matter how we were repressed, no matter how we just step on your pretty shoes and you want to come kill me off. You know, we can. There are things that can be done, but is the country and those who are in powerful positions truly want to even reduce, not totally eradicate, but even to reduce the level of violence in our society?
Well said. CurlyLoxx, we see you really want to get it out there. Let us know what your thoughts are on this question.
The problem for me personally with Jamaica, I hold it aside, but let me start from the spectator. The spectator. The person looking every week at what the problem is. And deciding. So every problem in the world, or every problem in Jamaica, has somebody else. And somebody needs to fix it and impress them. The spectator. Everybody I think the same way now. But we think that we one. We think that we alone. I look at all these issues. And I said to the toy, said, why? No man, we can't cut off the little girl head and carry the drop in her bag. Jesus Christ, the country does not get wicked. And then wicked people, them, outside of you. You now have nothing to do with it. Because to you is not a gunman, to you is not an artist, we are seeing the violence shown them to you. You're not a direct contributor, but you're a supporter. With your silence, with your assumption, say the next person will fix the problem. And this is the greatest part of the problem, because there's no leader. We can do with nothing at all where we not allow. There is no man we a girl there with. We can do nothing to her where she not allow. There is no girl where a man there with. We can do nothing to him where him not allow. We have been co-signing with destruction. And we are telling ourselves that somebody else will bring this destruction. Somebody else will bring this wickedness. Somebody else. Me, my innocent. Jamaica is like that girl that was there with this abusive boy. And so she don't want him, but by night come down and beaten, 6 o'clock. And 9 o'clock, yeah, right there son, yeah man, you have it. Stop it, be little wicked. That's how we stay. And that we do, that's a reality. We complain about these things what we don't want. Loud, protest. But we can't do without it. Who willing to admit, so we addicted to the problem? I don't know no cokehead, I say this all the time, I don't know no cokehead or no crackhead. We love cracking. But him sell everything except the crack pipe. Our problem that is a psychological problem. We are addicts. We are put with signature upon the destruction and I consider it as harmless fun, especially when it comes to music. Harmless fun are just a lyrics, you boy. What make him say, oh, yeah, man, no wrong with that, that just a song. I'm telling you what's wrong with it, with everything, not just Jamaica. It is that another demonic material earlier. Business, everything that is profitable is the problem. And the solution is never profitable. So every time you think to solve it, you go broke. If you as a woman, there are some with a little youth who potentially have a rich, and you see that boy that will fly a jet, but tell us you can put 10 million US in your bank account now. And this boy you don't have nothing yet. Ain't in a trouble, you know. If you are going to do the right thing, you know what you have to do? You have to go bypass the man there with the jet. And hope so that you there with the potential manifest. Everything what we do for solve every problem. tied to the same things that we don't like, the problem. We're addicted to the problem because none of we don't want to lose money for it. Every newspaper tell themselves, come, remember, you know what them do, them sell evil. Right? Because if we do something negative, we say, viral. Everybody talk about it. And it equates to dollars. If you do the right thing, nobody knows business over this. Who no want to make no money? Which artist are going to sing the right thing and make 100 grand as opposed to 100 million? You see the design? So you find, say, oh, force the best youth to become the worst person. Because he must say, he must go eat a food and next man can fix it. And everybody think the same thing. The problem is profitable and the solution is not. Right across the acre. I want problem the world have, you know. I don't like hearing. Most people don't like hearing, but it's true. Spiritual maturity. See, if you mature and grow up, if you actually grow up and start like the concept, and actually do it and take some responsibility and start really discipline yourself, every other problem in your life fix it. Every other problem in your life fix when you become a doer. That is it.
That is it. Mr. Sheldon, I see you. Good evening, sir. Muscle, what's going on, brother? I'll take 2 questions in regards to this question. 2 questions. Sorry, yes.
We know violence a physical force. And when we see violence in a community, Jamaica and Canada and all these places, we have to wonder if them youth have no sense. Because sometimes some youth approach you and the way I try to calm it down with them and talk to them nice, them not depend that, them depend some killing thing and some serious, some bad behavior, some physical force them I come to you with. So I'm on the road doing business more times and some of them come here, calm down and try bring them in a different direction just to make sure, say, them depend the level with me and tell them, say, yo, I know war and violence around the place now, you have to be intelligent and move diplomat in a place. Because the youth them different now. The way many hear CurlyLoxx talk, when them talk right thing, with CurlyLoxx I said, listen, them youth here, if you hurt somebody for them, they will go at your heart again. So we can't live like this right now, and we have to educate the young youth them, say, listen, no bother with the physical violence, just try to talk and calm down things.
A kid small, the simple thing is to a kid when he's small, say, anybody hit you, hit them back. That is a very, 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 very powerful word to tell your kid. Anybody hit you, hit them back. It's when me and grow, and my parents tell me, say, anybody hit me, hit them back. You see, if you hit me and me can't hit you back, you come like a world me I come from. Because them say, lastly. You understand? It's when you grow with that now in yourself. You see, if you do not mind family anything, you have to see me. You understand? Because one done, yes sir, we have to say I want to you. One of our friends drop out and no man do nothing and if you know who, you have to retaliate. You understand what I mean? Because some people seek revenge as comfortness. Say, you murder one, I murder back one, we're good. You understand? No, real thing like garrison. Let us see it as even. Just even out that alone. And next thing again too, weak people become bad. Because picking on, people pick on them too much, that's them reach a point now, them say, you know, say any man this, me know me will kill them, I can't bother with the pressure, you know. Me grew up to see the softest juvenile in our community come down the dan. Why? Everybody pick on him till he reach a point in a life when he say, this can't go on no more.
Something there about TikTok. Okay, now, my kids, I got 2 kids, 126, 150. Anyways, so I seen Texas pass a law, right, about banning social media under 18 years old. I look at that as, you know what, it's a good thing. Who agree with that? Your kids. No access to social media unless you're over 18 years old. Texas dropped that law right now. If you're under 18, you cannot get access to no Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, none of that. Who agree with that? I liked it.
The original question was, what was the original question was entertainment and music, did they play influence, right?
Right. CurlyLoxx.
My answer, and please follow me on this, is no.
No?
The answer is no. Music does not play an influence on the violent stuff. I've listened to tons of music. You gotta follow me. You gotta follow me. You gotta follow me. Follow me.
Hold on. Let him speak. Let him speak.
The respect.
Yeah, let him speak.
All right. I listen to music, all types of music, gun violence, the whole stuff. It never made me want to get up and shoot somebody. It never made me want to do crack cocaine or whatever. No disrespect to you, sir. Banning TikTok is not going to change what's happening. Violence, influences have been happening since the day we take our first breath. We need to stop blaming other people and other events and venues for some of our own personal shortcomings. If you have somebody who can listen to a song and then go out and rape a girl, that's not about the musician. That's about where did society fail that person. How did they get to that point where a song, a group of people can influence them? The big ruckus was, oh my God, if we legalize marijuana, everybody's going to do marijuana and the whole country's going to be high. What happened? Nothing happened. People who were smoking, smoked. And those who didn't, didn't. So stop blaming other people and other events for where we fall short. Because you choose to go out and not stay with your child, and then your child is there watching TV shows and reading stuff, and then you're going to blame it on the media, the artists, the entertainers, because you as a parent, as a guardian, chose to put something else in front of your child that you're responsible for. So 100%, I do not blame the artists. I do not blame entertainers, the government, or whatever. We are given as a responsibility for our youth, and more importantly, we are given responsibility to take care of each other's brothers and sisters. But we choose to put other stuff in front of it, and then when we have to look at ourselves, and personally look at ourselves, we find a different way to share the responsibility. Instead of saying, yeah, you know what? I should have spent more time with my child. Or I should have spent more time with my parent, or whatever it may be. So 100%, I do not hold artists, entertainers, athletes, or stuff responsible.
Alright, watch out, brother. You grow up and one of them like mine. You grow up them. You grow up a mother like mine. How much percent of them type of parents do you think you have in that culture?
What exactly is a mother like yours? We need to know.
Let me not just tell you about her, man. Military soldier, man.
Alright.
Do it, and don't question me. Else you're dead. You grow up that. Not many have that. Not many are we exposed to that type of upbringing them. So, I mean, when it comes to the influence, right? Remember, say most parents are like children themselves.
Most parents are children when they have the child.
Yeah, that may I say. So, if you have most parents being children, having children, and them not have no kind of moral value about them, and them not have no kind of, okay, me responsible for the youth, when a child is born, so is a mother, when a child is born, so is a father. What you can have is a house full of roommates, which is the majority of the household. So now, when you have a thing like music coming now, remember now, you have parents who come in like your brethren. Then you have music. What are artists? I could be honest about what artists and celebrities really are. They represent an idea. They represent an ideal way to be and function, even though it is just an idea. Nobody will stop to think about that. And this idea is a powerful idea that is more influential to a child than their parents. A man, we get up every day and I tell him, son, say, hey boy, don't do this, and don't do that, and boy, I'm gonna murder you. If you see this XYZ, and the dog are rebel, and I say, I want biggie that, man. In other sense. Vibes Cartel, Chronic Law, CurlyLoxx. Can go to the same little youth there and say, come here. I'm sure where your father say. You know, say this. You know, say that, Papa. The idea we have him, you know, him just respect me, you know. And him respect Chronic Law and him respect Vibes Cartel. And him say, boy, you know, say this your father say. You know how quick him all look on him father say, really that you that say, daddy? Me have a greater influence over most people, Pitney, than the person themselves, because familiarity is a wicked thing. The people know him mother and father, know the ins and them out, and I want biggie them, man. But don't see, you're not serious like, well, how me I describe my mother. So we have to listen to you. So you see when the song them do, Obia and Scam and this and it put to a nice melody, youth, it sanctions those behavior. It opens my mind to the possibility of welcoming this evil thing. Murder boy, if boy ramp with me, me drive past, me shoot you. This, that. Let me show you something. Let me give you tenfold. You see, you and everybody will sit down and so. You see the song where say murder some people, some boy for dead, and me drive and violence, everything. Let me tell you what it do to the average person. He's not a gunman, he's not a gunman. But in yourself, you know what you do? You equate them. You think of who are your enemies. The boss at the workplace who overwork you and underpay you. You think of everybody who are the enemy. And then you associate a song the two in your mind. So this is why the average person can work with the gun lyrics, the obia lyrics, the this, the that. Because you know what them do? Them look on it harmless and then put it in a fit them personal life and equate everything to that. Let me tell you why me say big yard. It's a lie. I drive out of one bank and I do that. He man no bad man, but he must say to fee himself, the boy, when I want him to open fee him law firm. And this me say. Because of my life, me equate these things too. So you understand me I said to you? So now, the influence we are saying on there, when a man see the whole crowd go, bow, 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 and forward, I look at you to when an appearance, I look and I say, wow. Gunman get a real forward, dog. Yo, man, I love get that respect. We're not business with right and wrong. Nobody cares about what is right and wrong. Respect. That's what we want. We need importance, right? So let me wrap up now. So the little youth that see pam pam for the gunman song, he want either be a gunman artist or he want to be a gunman. One out of the two, and the cycle keep going in a circle. Because everybody see the respect with that lifestyle in it, and that's it. I produce more of the same. It's influential, brother.
Very, very, very important member of the panel, international, local, and abroad, right across the world, reggae and dancehall recording artist, D-Angel. Give it up for D-Angel. Thank you so much tonight. Before you got here, we had a question that we were talking about where we were saying, we were talking about violence, and we were saying that the culture of the music and the whole vibration as an artist as yourself, do you find that the artist is somewhat responsible for, yeah, we're going to get to it, but I just want to get the Angel input on this one. Yes, I don't forget you, brother, I don't forget you. Yes. Yes, I'll tell her what it is, exactly. So what we were talking about is like the violence in the community, if it's impacted by the music or the culture or in terms of Jamaicans, right? So I want to get your input on that, but before we get to you, Dino, let's hear. You have your question ready, brother? Or your statement that you wanted to answer back, or you hold up your hand before we went for break?
Yes, I have something to say.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
There's a saying, life and death is in the power of your tongue.
Amen.
We have to understand that the words we speak can either give life or take it and build you up and encourage you. So we have to understand that some of these music that is played on the airways, on the radio, have power in them. For example, growing up in a certain culture, White House, and when he hears certain music like Born to Killer And when Bud Killer said people dead, people will take out their gun and bust their gun. That's influence. We have to understand that music have a way to make people move and control your mind. A great example is, if we listen to R&B, it's more subtle. If you listen to soca, your waistline move. If you listen to certain dancehall, it can, you know, like broke it down, you broke down and go on your head. That's influence. Just like you see some of these young kids listening to the same music, 2-year-old, 3-year-old on social media, on their head top, broken it down. That's influence.
Well, I think before me born, entertainment and dancehall has been what it is, because I've learned from the greatest of the greatest, and they have been impactful and influence, and it all depends on what you take from it. It's all entertainment to me. So it all depends on what you take from it, because I have a 16-year-old son, and both parents are in entertainment, and my son don't take anything like negative, even if he hears negative music. So sometimes it has to do with parenting, because my son don't run with negativity, and he's not going to act out what is played. All right, so say for instance, you just mentioned Spice, when you said block it down. That's entertainment, and that's for when you're partying. When you go, you don't literally do the same thing. You understand? So it all depends on what you take from it. You have to pick sense out of nonsense. Some persons will be influenced by it and do what it's saying, but it's not for you to do what it's saying, because a lot of artists, CurlyLoxx can attest to this, they sing songs and they don't live that life. So you have to understand what you're about and the life that you choose.
This is
they have good, they have bad, so you determine what you want. Because even in entertainment, if you sing positive music, most times they overlook it. But when you sing the song them with, you know, raised eyebrows, those are the songs that they're really interested in. And I see that happen over and over again. Because I'm a dancer and reggae artist, and I did Stronger, the angel stronger, I'm gonna live my life longer. And then I did Touch Me in the Worst Way, Monday to Thursday, make my body cool on a Friday, let me want it back on a Saturday. A sexy song versus a reggae song. And guess which song get the most likes, shares, comments, views? The sexy song. But I choose my lane. I'm a dancer and legitimate reggae artist. And that's my path. So everybody have to just choose their path and know what, you know, what influence they want to take from it, good or bad. So it's an adult decision. So you have to make that decision, and then it has to do with parenting, raising your child in the best way you can, and you know, teach them the right way. That's my opinion.
All right, thank you, the angel. All right. Andre, hold on, Curly. Let Andre feel like he's under attack. Clear your name real quick.
First of all, I didn't...
Yeah, most definitely. Let's it clear and then we get more...
Yeah. It's okay to have more than one answer to a question. It's okay to have your opinion, and it should be respected and listened. And if you don't agree with it, it shouldn't be an obstacle. Why I said I didn't believe music, entertainment was an influence, because for me, and the child that I'm raising, it's a choice. You hear it, and you will choose if you want to listen and follow through or not. But that does not apply to everybody. Everybody has different situations, everybody has different influences, everybody has different mechanisms that make who they are. I just hopefully, when I made that comment, to say that if that's how you feel, okay, you stand by it and you support it. If you feel something else, you do it, because I can't talk for you. All you can do is talk for yourself and know what works for you and what doesn't work for you. That hopefully was clarifying a little bit more than what I was saying.
All right. Folks, well, some of us losing interest in the conversation. Tap Jankro a drink and a chat and some others. Let us try not lose focus. And also, anything anyone says, It's their opinion.
Yeah.
And as Damien introduced, as Damien in his introductory speech said, it's not an attack on anybody, right? If you don't like the opinion, it's okay not to like it because you have your own. So let us try to use the time wisely in giving our views or our opinion on a particular point rather than trying to defend it. Because we are wasting time if we are trying to defend it, because everybody in here have a different view to everything what anybody says.
That is true.
Okay.
That is it.
And that is
true.
That is true, that's human. And then everybody in here too is a part of entertainment, go out and everything, so at least we have everybody's opinion and feel about what is going on, and so we as entertainers can see how we can work on it.
Alright.
Most definitely. Hold on, Curly. Let me get one question over there real quick, and then I get back to you, brother.
Children are the one that is going to make the future for us. Music does influence our children. TikTok influence our children. Your brethren, them girlfriend, TV, CNN, they all influence our children. Yeah? So inside of our house, we have to be the master influence.
Go ahead, Curly.
All right. You say, boy, you know, your youth, or your youth, your son.
Yeah, one child.
Yeah. So your son, which I know. Yeah, I know, man. You know, all right. You know, influence and what. What you have to understand, Angel, right? Markadine knows mommy, and it's obvious to him. It's obvious to him when you go home and you take off the angel persona. He know mommy. For him, him know the person who bathed him, read the story to him, put him to bed. Him don't know angel really, you know. He know the show you put on.
That's true.
But the people them out there who don't know that show think the show is real. This is why it's so influential. So for example, the idea of angel to enough little girl out there is great. You have a greater influence upon them than their mother, you know. Because their mother tell them half the things that they not even mean. They might live with their mother, and their mother tell them, say, don't do this and don't do that. Don't deal with that boy, don't do that, with that type of person, and she had the opposite of that. In a fear head, angel is this great idea of like almost like a God figure. If angel will say something to fear her daughter, she only see you, you know, over her daughter in a 10 second, you know. Because over her mother in a 10 second, you know. Because you represent this idea that is more real to her than her mother, you know. That represents something to me where like this is the greatest thing ever. So you have to understand how the influence works. It's not your household. It is how other households view you and what you do and what you say. That is influential. Yeah. So you have to have a certain level of responsibility and what you put out there. Yes, me know. Because earlier I speak about it. Business. Every problem, it starts with business. Because guess what? The problem is profitable. You say you sing the song about, come on and we can be the greatest and we are nothing. And then the next one, that is not coincidence. It's a social model. Yeah. It's a social design. So that nobody wants to go towards the God character. Nobody don't want to do the right thing because it will sell.
And then again, if you're having a bad day or going through any form of struggle that I've been through, you're going to listen to that song. So it have its space.
No, everything have its space. But you know what? Let me show you how influence work. 90s. Remember some song at 90s this? Nelly. And then what's your name again? Even when I'm with my boo. Ashanti. Listen good. You see during that era then, I'm a witness this now. And the most born in the history of born. Run. Every girl wants a side man to relate to the flavor of the moment. This is how powerful music is. Maybe for your daughter and for him son, just know say them as some artists and then come home to you and me need money for go to the mall and that's it. For them pick me unaffected. But the little 16 and 17 know say this are the biggest song in the world. Them have a roll with the flavor because this is cool. This is real to me. Born to death.
All right.
But then again, you have a freedom to express yourself through music.
You do have it, but
as an artist, as an entertainer.
But a responsibility with that freedom.
And yes, of course, definitely. And I can attest to that as one that has responsibility with the freedom at the same time. Because, alright, because I do, as I said, I do dancehall and reggae music, and I've never encouraged any young girl to do anything bad. You know, I'm always uplifting, always educating, always influencing in a positive light and embrace independence.
Maybe
so my little feeding box, my little followers that they know I'm all about that. But when we switch off and I entertain, it has to do with different audience. You understand? So I cater for different, event appropriate.
Right.
So that is what I do. Yes. And then we switch out again and I'm gone on one different thing because I sing for everybody. Church, school, family fun day, adults, everything. So at the end of the day, you have to sit down and say, and I side the angel level life, I'm like a side the angel and you have influenced by that.
No, you know it work, at the controversy.
But at the end of the day, me's a positive soul.
Which is right, and I love the fact that, one second my brother, we have to segue into another question because this topic is going to be going on and on. So this next question I want to ask, I know you guys are going to have your trillions opinion on this one, and I'm going to start it out with Mr. Samuels on this one. Yes, Mr. because you're the OG. So this one, I want to get you guys an opinion on what you guys are chiming on this. Compared to the 60s and the 70s, you know what I mean, Jamaica to 2000. Why do you think the contrast in violence is so great? So, like, I'm going to break it down because you know a big guy question them go on like a university style. So, in the 60s and 70s it was more, you know what I mean? And right now in the 2000s it's very aggressive, more violent than today. What do you think the reason is and why?
Well, in the 60s and
the 70s.
The 60s and the 70s.
But now I say you're all still in a boat.
No, it's okay. In the 60s and the 70s, we had manners, and our lifestyle was a very simple one. We were not influenced by the American system, satellite dish, when satellite dish come in.
And social media was a popular
and there was no social media. Therefore, we lived this very, very ordinary lives. There was a community, people had discussion, people vent them feelings to them one another, and all this kind of stuff. In the 70s, when politicians begin to come into our lives, and when both political parties in Jamaica started to encourage us from moving away from hot brick and rock stone and knife into guns, then we begin to change. Also, there was a very important cultural development that took place in the 70s also, when Jamaicans, via the politicians, get the sense that they have a right to go into any hotel in our country. And a lot of us went in there and began to cut out all the carpet from under the bed, we can't go them yard and all that sort of stuff. And the changes do come. So, folks, our 60s up in the early 70s, crime rate and homicide were like just down into maybe 3% or whatever, I don't know the statistics, but coming into the late 70s, up into the 80s when the technology begins to change and all like that, our lives begin to be affected, and unfortunately in the more negative sense.
All right, thank you, Mr. Samuels. Andre?
don't know about that.
You know what
all I can say, due to popular belief, I was not born in the 60s, so I don't know what happened, or the 70s, so...
But you could relate to the 80s, right?
90s.
You can relate to the 80s?
90s.
The 90s? Okay. Thank you so much. All right, so this is something that has been brought to my attention. Hold on, my brother. You could get involved in the next thing that I'm about to bring up. We have experienced a lot of shooting and violence here in Toronto, especially in the dancehall space. But it doesn't seem to happen in Jamaica. You know what I mean? And we here in Toronto have experienced that so many times, and we have not really seen that there in Jamaica. CurlyLoxx, I want to get your opinion on this, and probably the Angel, seeing that you're a part of a dancehall fraternity. All right. So what the questions are? The question that I'm what we want to talk about right now is the fact that here in Toronto, especially in the dancehall space, there's a lot of violence in terms of people are being killed in the dancehall. You know what I mean? It's not so much like that in Jamaica. You know what I mean? So we also want to get some of you guys' opinions on that, especially 14, you could relate to that. But I want to get your opinion on that. Where do you find violence in the dancehall where people come and actually kill someone in the dancehall? In Jamaica, here in Toronto, it has been happening quite often.
Where you want me to about that? Come in, Olivia.
But no, I'm saying in Jamaica, do you find that happening in Jamaica?
No, you know.
And what's the reason why it doesn't happen? Exactly.
The difference is how, again, not just Jamaicans, but how we socialize by the wicked system. We socialize in this individualistic type of outlook on everything. Success is something me have, and the rest of people have to look up on me. So when you come from a certain crowd, you come from Jamaica, it's like we have this type of thing. I mean, I don't know if people still have it or it's outdated, but people used to come out foreign, and when they book a next Jamaican, it's like, you're there too? Seriously? I think the success story of mine, I go foreign, and I make it and send back barren. What you do ya? So you see, when we book one another foreign and discuss the problem, and me to be the successful Jamaican. Oh. And me to be the person where the man and everybody else are the one who look up to me. Yes. Okay. So that is that our different type of psychology there. So when we go out to be successful, it will be my thing. It's not to be a community thing. Me not to go buck no other Jamaican. Me and the Jamaican are going to make it and say, and the man look and say, John, oh, you know, you say Top John Crab and good at foreign. You see me? Yeah. Dog, I run the place. Top John can say, you know, so our next cheer on this, I run the place, so get rid of them. No, wait, that's an example with that. I not say a bad man. You see me, I said that? But as at that cast that when in a foreign land, and we are the foreigner. Yeah. If we go home and the whole of the country people when I used to nothing and say, look on God. Yeah. Watch it dog, forward, back. That is it.
Alright. Yeah, thank you. Alright, 14, you wanted to... Illy, you ready for that now?
It's a bad mind that then.
Yeah.
Illy, go ahead. Say something, Illy.
Good night, each and everyone. Me can relate to the 50s because me's a good old lady. When you pick me, I grew up in Jamaica, everybody you pass, you have to say good evening, miss, good evening, sir, good evening, this, and if you're bad, and you think you're bad, you pass 1 yard and I say good evening, you complain to your mother and get beaten. And the neighbor used to beat you too. And you can't do nothing. Nowadays the whole dynamic change. Of course. Because me I tell you, say you can't touch my pitney. And if you touch my pitney, I war. Especially in Canada. The mans them say is an orange outfit in and out. So they might do what they have to do. And the youths them nowadays be afraid of the 13, 14, 15, up to 20-year-old. Anything over that, I'm afraid of them. Because those kids are the kids that have the gun. And they're not playing. And they're from the hood. And even as a parent, if you move them out of the hood and bring them up a Caledon, understand, them still a come back a Gaynor age. And that's where most of these kids get them dead. Because they leave out of the garrison and them gone up, the parents them bring them away, to take them away from certain things, and them come back right just so. So again, at the end of the day, the kids them, you train them, you teach them, but them develop them own characteristic. It no matter what we say, and also we have peer pressure too. Because me over here so as my friend, I'm a friend, and I say, yeah, man, you have to bleed, man, you have to bleed. And if you're not strong enough, you're going to follow the friend and next thing you know, you're going left. It's just a part of life, and this discussion can go on and on and on and on. And the question is, what are we going to do to change it? That's the real question.
All right, Philly, thank you so much. You get a round of applause from the OG yourself. All right, so don't forget to know, we're giving our opinions and our thoughts and the question, but also in the process, we also want to leave here with a solution. You know what I mean? So everybody's giving...
That is true. I mean, a while ago, CurlyLoxx was just saying something to me. Illy point is a really good point, and we can... All the point that we're going across the board, we can take them and we can pick sense out of nonsense, you know? But CurlyLoxx just say something to me about, okay, a man tell a girl, say, all right then, you're the coolest girl if you do this, that, and that, and that. And she's going to work with it because she's not strong-minded, you understand? I'm very strong-minded. As a dancehall artist and I'm out there, and social media is big right now, Oliver, them tell me, say, my body flat, and all these things. And my bottom never have a problem because the bottom I get the ring, the same flat bottom, yeah? Oh, yeah. Get the ring? So my body has never been a problem to me. And if me never make that, make me go do cosmetic surgery, I go change my body because I am happy and comfortable with my body. So I am strong-minded. Yeah. You understand? So no matter how I see the breast, the body curve, my daddy body, the angel will come out as a goddess because I am comfortable and happy in my own skin. So you have to have a strong mind. And so you're gonna last your way.
Which is right. Well said, Angel. I love that. Big up your flat body too. All right. Master, you want to say something, my brother?
Yes, most definitely. With CurlyLoxx, you asked him about the violence in the dancehall in Jamaica and Canada. Well, he gave his version because he lives here. And for me who lives here, I just want to touch on it a little bit. Now, this is my opinion again. I just feel like in Jamaica, the people with the violence, not the gunmen, they're a little bit more disciplined. So, when there's an event going on, they really don't want to kill anybody, they just want to have a good time. Right? Canada is a little bit different. They're not really disciplined. You know, it doesn't matter who is keeping the party and who the party is. If another brother they want, yes, that's the way it's going to happen. Right? And the next thing too, I think it's also the access to the guns. I mean, in Jamaica, there's a lot of guns there now. Even so, it still controls somewhat. Here, the access is just going to McDonald's or Burger King. Buying a burger, you can get the gun anywhere, anytime. And the price drop. So I think I just wanted to just clarify that as far as the dancehall with the violence. They're not so disciplined. So I don't know if we can work on the disciplinary with those guys. You know what I mean?
Thank you, Master. Thank you.
I'm very sorry, sir.
Go ahead, Oliver.
Look here. No gunman, no discipline. No gunman, no discipline. And if there was a competition as to who can get gun faster, me sure Jamaica will win. Because as CurlyLoxx, we are the best. Me are telling you, we are the best at everything we do, no matter how bad it is. Right? But me don't know, maybe the hype in Canada, there is a kind of hype if you do something out there in the public and think, whereas in Jamaica, them do it, but them have their method of doing it. I don't know discipline. I don't know discipline.
They must agree, but as opposed to overseas, as I said, it's an hype thing. Yeah. You dance, you just clap your way, drum, dirt. Wow. And now, if they dance over them, lay away during one part, they can clap your right there. So maybe that's a hype and just a control thing, who are done now, all these things.
Andre, what do you say, brother?
I think something that plays into it a lot is the judicial system, the criminal system here in Canada. What you do in Canada compared to what you do in Jamaica, you get treated differently. You kill somebody in Canada, you're like 5 years if you have a good lawyer. You don't spend the type of time in jail or have the consequences that you do have back home in Jamaica. I think that plays a huge part. Depending on your age, you automatically get legal counsel. There's so many things here to support crime compared to Jamaica.
Right,
That's a very good point. Right, Mr. Samuels? I will take two. Go ahead.
I know the original question was, what do we think? What does violence mean to us? It's an open-ended question, and a lot of us are going to ramble on about, what we, interpret violence to be. To be honest with you, I think a real question would be, how do we respond to violence? And why do we respond to violence the way we do? Right? Because apart from the dictionary definition of what violence is, I believe a lot of us don't even know what violence is, right? Because violence is something that's taught to you, right? So, and it goes far, it goes deep. We're talking about entertainment, the things that we see on TV, our social media outlets, the things that are promoted to us, right? The things that are, the culture and how, how our parents educate us on how to handle violence. A lot of that needs a big reset.
A question here now. What is the Jamaica Canadian Association is doing in regards to members' children? Why can't there be social programs for children? Art and craft. Yeah. Tell them about the culture of Jamaica.
Yeah.
All this kind of
performing arts.
Here is one space that should be utilized.
Yes.
I believe that you guys have access to a lot of funding in Canada.
Sure.
Walk to no, but tell them to say so no black people so no not gonna get it into their phone. So therefore this can stir up action into getting stuff done and for identifying black children that are bright and see how you can guide them into getting into the best universities. All of them things that can happen.
Which is right, I love that. We have a member from the JC here that is here and he wants to answer that. Go ahead, brother.
Well, these are the people are here. We should join the Jamaican Canadian Association. Whenever they have a meeting here, then you come out and say your piece. Ask for these things so that the Jamaican Canadian Association can do some help. You can't look at the board for JCA. The members are the ones that get things done.
I hope we're seeing where this is going. There's a thing called abstracting from content, right? And it's a philosophical term. I won't get into it, but what that really points to is the idea that you're so attached to what you think that as soon as someone says something, you think they're attacking you. We need to get rid of that. That's not a very healthy thing. Now, what Mr. Samuels was saying was just asking a question about JCA. And I really appreciate the fact that JCA gave us a chance to be here tonight. And I chose this space because it's JCA, Jamaican Canadian Association. And we're talking about violence in Jamaica and how it affects the diaspora, which is who we are, right? Now, while I was doing this and I was promoting this whole thing, I pitched it to several people. And they asked me, where are you doing it? And I said, JCA. And you know what the response was from 90% of the people? What is that? Now, at some point we have to accept the responsibility and be accountable for who we are. Now, I have a very important question about JCA, and it's because you're asking about how many people are members here. You can't be a member if you don't know what's going on. You can't be. And also, the programs for JCA has been cut by the government, and I know you know this. Every year they defund things from JCA, and nothing happens. No one holds anyone accountable. What are we doing about those things? Now, these things are things that we have to talk about. It's a separate conversation. I just wanted to bring it up so that we know that we're not really against anything. It's just a simple question as to what's going on with JCA. What is JCA doing? If we're going to respond to this, we have to respond to this in kind. We have to respond to this with programs. You asked about what they're doing for kids, right? There's no answer. Now, yes, so let me close the loop right here. So what we're saying here tonight is these conversations spark different things. This JCA thing was not a part of the violence topic, but what did it do? It sparked an idea. It sparked a thought. I'm sure right now a lot of people are thinking about, oh, why wasn't I a member of JCA? So now that's something else we can talk about from on a different day. But for now, let's concentrate on the violence. Let's concentrate on what we're doing. Let's concentrate on the idea of what this talk, because we're going to end in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
What is this talk going to accomplish tonight? For the next 20 minutes, let's use this time to really talk about, we spent 3 hours so far discussing stuff. Let's tie it up.
Resolution.
Let's talk about what we're going to do. Let us all commit to something that we will do tonight to make sure that we're contributing to the positive things in this city and also in Jamaica. Can we do that, please?
Yeah. I think as you touched on it, JCF, JCA, oh sorry, see it? But you didn't know about it. Alright. I think collectively everybody can come together and decide. Yeah, right? I know. I think collectively everybody can come together and decide on what they can do to help. You have to start from even one community, and as long as you save one person, it can save more. I have a foundation in Jamaica where I cater for the elderly and children, and I never rock on the government, and they see what I'm doing. And I don't sit down and say, boy, I'm not going to help for the government, so I'm not do it. And December past, I fed 600 families, and that's care packages. And I took it up on my head, I'm a do road, and I call sponsors, I'm working, I'm on the fans, I'm working. I'm saying, December time is the busiest time of year as an artist, and I'm put on that, because I said, I'm going to work it. I'm a network, I'm going to do my thing. And I managed to feed 600 families on my foundation page, Angels Foundation, JA. I'm going to sit down and say, now wait for the government, now wait for the community, now wait for somebody. I took it up on my head to make a difference. So everybody have to take it up on their head to make a difference. So you see how it works. And that's what I do.
Hold on. Can I say something?
Thank you. Fireist, you want to say something, brother?
From my look in the crowd, I don't see nobody that's young here. No young youths. Because they're not interested in these topics. I bet you if them some stripper in there, Valiant or Smaddy or Tabo, Obi or Gun, in your black, and nobody can come in that space. These generation kids don't care about these things. They're gone and led by the devil. Them burn up, to me at least. Not one young youth is here. They don't care about this stuff. Them there's somewhere smoke weed right now and a gallon. So it's terrible. There's no young youths here, period. Alright, one out of many. Thank God. But you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, 100%. And that young youth is brought, he was brought here by his dad. You know what I mean? So, which is right, you know what I mean? So, it's a good vibration.
Right back.
So, second? We have a whole heap of solution. I know each and every one in here probably have a solution, but we got to keep it on a straight line. You know what I mean? So there's a beautiful queen in the back there who want to say something. Dino, could you give the mic to the queen in the back there? She want to say something real quick.
I just want to say that I think when we're thinking about solutions, I think we have to understand that when we move as a community, we have to move with one voice. I have in the past been part of several different organizations. I remember when we had the Year of the Gun. I went to so many different organizations, so many different discussion groups such as these. There were different organizations doing different programs. The challenge was we didn't move together as a community in volumes, and we didn't have, you know, just a list of solutions that everybody could get behind. And the problem with that is that you will not get the ears of politicians and the people that will impact and affect the change that you want unless you move as a community.
First of all, thank you everybody for coming out today and participating on a Sunday before work, or you came from work here. Thank you all in allowing us to talk.
Yes.
I think one of the solutions is people gotta commit to it. If you don't commit to it, I don't see it being very successful. You know, it's like a relationship. You're getting married. We're going to marry this stuff, and we're going to commit our lives to resolving the issue, and that we won't stop. And when we get knocked down, we stand back up and we keep moving. The little things that come along to deter us, we brush it off and move. We can commit to so many things, but when it comes to our own people and to our own problems, we have a problem. Everybody wants to be Jamaican until they have to be Jamaican.
Yeah.
Sure.
Remember who you are. Remember who we as a people are, how powerful we are, how we have managed to go anywhere in the world and make something out of nothing. Now we are the greatest at that.
Greatest.
This is who we are.
Sure.
Never forget that. That's my thing. And my thing to you is, stop the spectating. The next person will fix the problem, impress me. Are we? Let me tell you something about evil. See, like we have prayer to God, you have prayer to the devil, and those are the ones that we've been saying. The toxicity, the cussing, the make everything bad away. That is what we've been doing. You see, if we're going to solve all our problems, then we have to be willing to stop being the people. Come on, tell you something. People don't want truth. Most people don't want truth. They want what aligns with where they want to be true. Truth too hard to deal with. You understand? We have to finally realize that we are part of the problem, man. And we have to, you know how you fix everything is not to come every week, complain about what the problem is. But be the solution, not suggest it. Be it. You remember back in the medieval days when armies used to attack, the invading forces attack a castle, what them used to do? Them surround the castle and them cut off the supply lines. No food into the castle there. No food. The toxicity we have to give to all of the situations, and we have to cut it out. Stop feed the negative. Stop feed it. It have to dead. If we personally, individually, stop feed it, them have to run out, come out of it. Every day we have to say, evil around the place, so we have to evil. Not go so. Be good long enough. Sure. And manage your evil.
True.
Manage your own evil within your consciousness as an individual. And see if every evil boy in a boy your foot.
True.
Them about right at your foot because them hungry. You stop paying them mind.
Yeah.
You think everything where you give energy, no why you waiting they want your attention. Stop giving it attention and focus on building your goodness within your character. Find that courage there and all problems solved.
Well said, my brother. Well said. The angel.
All right, I never really hear anything touch on violence against women, but it's okay. I won't even go into that since we never touched it. But it's a big situation that's happening in Jamaica that is impacted all over the world, and men don't love and respect. Lots of men don't love and respect a woman anymore. And when a woman gonna left you rather she's dead, and all these things. And I'm saying no to that. A lot of women and love women out in the world. and you can find an next woman. You don't have to be killing and abusing and taking away children and all the world. I don't even know where that come from. I don't even know what kind of spell.
She know if you take things, problem solved.
What kind of devil? It have done all my get VRT.
She know if you take things, problem solved.
Overall independence. That's why we. That alone caused that.
90% of the time you're taking things and tell him say you love him and play with him big belly and he ugly and rat you tell him say he's cute. I lie.
Well,
he will kill you.
Well, if that's the case, we need to stop that as women. If that's the case, we need to stop that as women and be a little bit more independent. But
you're not saying we kill you, him, we kill you.
Yes. Alright, Angel, finish up.
I've been known at the times that's not even the case. I mean, sometimes women are unhappy in their relationship and they want to just leave for themselves and be happy for themselves and be great for themselves. And the man say, nah, little girl, I kill you. And I cheat and I punch you and I just want to leave. Anyway, but not kind of taken away from the topic, but that I have to inject too. So we can work together. It is violence, a big one too. But we can work together more as a community and we can spread some more love. You know, we're lack that and the hype and the boastfulness and the show-offness. You know, we can understand that we are all great together. If we work together, stick together, we can make wonders. So that is just my 2 cents. Spread some more love, work together more. And this is the big egotistical, macho thing about a lot of people. We have to cut out that. We have to be realistic. And we have to understand that us as Jamaican, we really make a difference in everything that we do. So let's spread some love, more love in the community, and let's do things that really make sense and stand out.
And last but not least, we have the OG, Mr. Oliver Samuel. What's your solution? What's your take on that?
Me not have a solution because I'm not a miracle worker.
Right.
Anyway, I just want to say, and this is for the Canadians, you being here is not just by chance.
Canadians.
Being Jamaicans, being in Canada. And it would be nice if a lot of us would go back and look at the history of migration to Canada by Jamaicans. Because a lot of the Jamaicans and nurses who came here in the beginning, them suffer. And then pave ways for us, and therefore I think it is beholden to us that we should make the best use of this opportunity that we have as Jamaicans. We should not be afraid to talk about Jamaica and my experience. We should be proud of our mackerel rundown, saltfish rundown. We should be proud of every food.
Chicken back.
That is Jamaican, that we can, when white people come to Jamaica and real proud Jamaican give them a plate of food, whatever it is, they wonder how they don't get it in the stores, in the restaurants here in Canada or wherever. Because we are not self-asserted and we don't have no pride. When we left Jamaica, we have to put something in the food so that it can suit the palate of the white people, and that is a lie. Them love it as how we dish it out our yard.
Yeah, authentic.
Be proud Jamaicans wherever you are, because we are, as CurlyLoxx said, the greatest people on this earth.
None.
Period.
None greater. None greater.
I just want to say,
no nationality greater.
The fact that you don't come out, you was inquisitive, and you was interested. And this is a conversation that can be taken up to another level. We hope that we've learned something and that Canadians here, Jamaican, Jamcans here.
Janadians.
What?
Janadians.
Janadians here understand that a lot of us are concerned about what's taking place at home and how it affects you there. And I will say finally, join JCA and make a change, because unity is power.
So as for solution, maybe everybody, maybe only Damien, probably know, and 1 or 2 people who's on my WhatsApp, like Tyrese. So I have an app in Jamaica called VibesNet app. And as of 2 months ago, I took it up on myself to start doing a competition to help and highlight real talent in Jamaica. So that first competition was no scamming music, no violence, no cursing. What that has shown me, over 3,000 artists emailed my page and came to my studio, which is one of the most sophisticated studios in Jamaica. It's in Ocho-Rex. And the way these guys expanded their minds to create music without violence, that was amazing. And that showed me that we can do this. Last week, Friday, we announced the winner. And immediately after that, we announced the second competition, which is 500,000 Jamaican dollars plus a music video, overall package which will equal 1 million Jamaican dollars for all the artists. But no violent music will ever be produced in my studio. Thank you.
Yes.
Good night, everybody. As was said on the panel, unity is strength, and there is also strength in numbers. So instead of we Jamaicans having a crab in the barrel mentality, why don't we unify and be your brother's keeper? Spread positivity, help others, and that will make a positive contribution. Use your voices in the spaces provided to talk. Help the kids, help our children, be a mentor, and that will start on the road to solution.
Andre, thank you very much. Curly, thank you. The Angel, thank you very much. Oliver, thank you very much. Thank you all for coming out. You could have been anywhere else tonight, but you're here.
That's true.
And I really appreciate it. This is just the start of a conversation. True. The conversation doesn't end here. It's just to kickstart something. Kickstart a thought. Kickstart that thought to lead to an attitude. That attitude to lead to behavior. So thank you for coming out. Drive safely going home. And I'll see you. God bless. Thank you.